Hi, and welcome to another episode of Kuntarkis. My name is Michael Yon, and this episode is The Life of Buddha. This is a follow-on from the lives described in the episode The Silent Assassin. So, here's Kuntarkis.
This is an incarnation of Master Zhang and Prince Siddhartha in becoming the first Buddha. The interesting fact about the name Buddha is actually Sanskrit, and some have a meaning and they call it one who has become enlightened or one who has awoken. There's just different meanings. The other thing too I wanted to express is Kalusha as an Acharon incarnated into the era of the upcoming Buddha and was named Zhang Qi, who in reality became Master Zhang of the monastery. And in truth, if we look at it from an honest heart, was the first actual Buddha. Not anyone before Zhang, it was not. But Zhang became, how would you say, the CEO of the monastery. So in truth, from being in India, he would have been the first Buddha in reality, which I found quite interesting. Okay. The incarnation of Kalusha as Master Zhang Qi was born 2,578 human years ago and lived within the walls of a monastery higher up around the Himalaya mountains. The monastery was built on a platform of mountain rock separated from the main mountain. It was an amazing structure, massively large for that era, and had a very solid bridge built from the main mountain to the monastery, which did give it lots of privacy as well as some form of security from bandits who did try many times to break in. Master Zhang became a disciple at the age of 31, and from that point never ventured beyond the monastery. Over the next 29 years, Zhang Qi became the master of the monastery. He was elected because of his teachings of forgiveness through the heart chakra and the meaning of true love of heart. Disciples of the monastery witnessed many times how Zhang Qi mastered many abilities to do not only with the physical self, but also his ability to project his spirit from his physical essence and structure his own spirit into what looked like a physical, solid body without internal organs. What I was seeing in this amazing vision is what I personally have been working on over the last 54 human years. That's why I can accept what I am being shown from the long gone past. Back in human history, there were many who could achieve this truly incredible ability and the knowledge that was available. Today, we as the human species are, or more to the point, have been hijacked by certain ones within our human world. They have discovered many secrets that have been kept from the masses. Why, you may ask? So we don't grow in self-awareness nor any form of consciousness. If we did, we would not need any form of authority, especially no governments, to tell us what to do, or simply to control all of us through fear. The biggest secret to our own evolution as a species called human sits just under the back of the human brain called the pineal gland, being the opening to our third eye. Let me give you a little example that I felt was important. During the Second World War, Adolf Hitler, through deep research, discovered a substance called fluoride. If ingested through drinking water, would over time encase the pineal gland and would prevent any individual from advancing in some form of consciousness and basically be quite easy to control. So that's what Adolf Hitler did to millions of Jews when they were imprisoned and eventually all murdered by a bullet in the back of the human head and through gas chambers by the masses. My human father, called Jaroslav, was forced to carry out the dead bodies that were gassed. If he didn't, he would be shot, just like his older brother, called Roman. To give you an idea of how many human people were brutally murdered by the end of the war, is around 69 to 74 million human people, being adults and children and babies. This is giving you just an idea of the lengths that some humans will go to. Yet when the war ended in 1945, the American government found out how the Jews were controlled. So towards the end of 1945, the government of the American people put fluoride into all the drinking water within all the states of America, telling the people that fluoride will prevent tooth decay, which seriously was a complete lie 100%. Even Australia followed suit by doing the same just over 37 years ago, and they knew 100% that fluoride would do to the people of the world call complete control, so no one would ever grow in consciousness. To say again, fluoride encases the pineal gland 100%, and when it's encased, you will always think and speak on the same level that you are. There is no conscious growth without the pineal gland. So now that we have more awareness, let's get back to the vision of Master Zhang Qi. His teachings were spread wide and far, especially within India. The knowledge of his teachings reached the king Subhodana of India, who was at that era leader to the Shaikya clan in the lands of Kosala. The mother being the queen was named Maya, and their son was named Siddhartha, who became Buddha in that time factor to come. The king of India was very intrigued by the teachings of this Master Zhang Qi. He wanted to place his young son, Siddhartha, into the monastery under Master Zhang Qi to be his personal master teacher. After discussing it with his wife Maya, they both decided to take their son to the monastery and put their son in the caring of this Master Zhang Qi. Over several months, they eventually made contact with the monastery, and 3 months later, the king Subhodana and Queen Maya arrived at the monastery, and after a long discussion, the son Siddhartha, being only 4 years old, was left in the care of the Master Zhang Qi. It was very interesting through the vision in seeing how the king of India and his queen Maya were so affectionate to their 4-year-old son. Normally back then, kings, even queens, were more negative than positive when it came to the loving of their own children. And yes, it was simply old transferring of characteristics from them, being the parents' genetics, into their children, just as it is today in 2025. The sad reality is, that's why there have been over 157,000 violent, brutal wars in the last 928,000 years of human evolution. And it is still sadly the same in this present moment. Why? Because very few ever deal with their own self-created human conditioning of negative karma, and it is all based on the human ego. After seeing the king and queen departing from the monastery, Master Zhang Qi called a gathering of his disciples to be present so they could introduce the young 4-year-old boy to them, as well as to explain why he has been placed within the monastery grounds. As I observed the vision with all the disciples waiting patiently within the open grounds, Master Zhang Qi came walking out of the building holding the young boy's hand, who was a little shy to begin with. As Master Zhang Qi spoke out, "Thank you to all of you being here. There will be a few changes to come for all of us within this monastery. As some of you would have been aware that the visitors who were here and have now departed back to India, they are the king Sabodana and the Queen Maya, who have decided to place their young son, Siddhartha, within this monastery under my wing, so he may learn of the spiritual aspects of life. Once he has progressed in life, his father will ask for his return to India, where in time he'll become the new king of India. There is something that must be also changed. No animal of any kind is to be killed within the walls of this monastery. No flesh of any creature is to be eaten within this monastery. The boy is a fruit and veggie eater, as well as beans and nuts. So from this point in time, all who live within these walls will be the same. The king and queen has made it quite clear that this must be what must be. They have given great jewels so we can grow larger food gardens. We can still drink the milks from the animals, so I have made it law that all who live within these walls must follow the new rulings. This is fully understood, I trust. I can see that some of the disciples were confused. Some were not fully happy, but all spoke out in a positive manner, agreeing to what has just been said by the Master Zhang Qi. What came next was amazing to see, the changing of their current gardens. All small trees were removed and relocated on the other side of the entrance bridge, as the teachings were all about preserving life in all forms. During the younger life of the boy, Siddhartha, he was mainly with other disciples learning all about nature, working in the food gardens, cleaning, being instructed why meditation was so important to becoming self-aware of life, of all things, being the negative and the positive aspects of all life, even in how to cook the foods. Some of the disciples would guide him in fighting and defending movements. As he began to grow, some disciples were asked by Master Zhang Qi to take the boy outside of the monastery so he could learn about what is out there. What came next was intriguing. The boy Siddhartha just turned 12 years old. As he was working in the food gardens, Master Zhang Qi walked up to him saying, "Siddhartha, it is time for you to come with me. There are things I need to teach you and to show you. Come now." The other disciples looked up at him smiling as he walked off with Master Zhang Qi. They entered a large room called the Sacred Room of Knowledge that he has never seen. This large room was a training room for all disciples in learning self-defense and attack. On the other far left of the room, I could see lots of different training weapons. To the end of the room, there was a large section of all different shapes of sparring apparatuses, all made from solid timbers. It would have taken so long in just carving them out. Master Zhang Qi walked up to one of the training devices saying, "These are like people, but made of wood. Watch while I show you how it can help anyone who trains from the mind. The mind is where all your inner and outer creativeness comes from. Just watch." As the boy watched, Master Zhang Qi moved his arms strangely, yet slowly around the timber arms, even using his feet. The young boy was intrigued. Master Zhang Qi stopped, looking at the boy, asking him, "What do you think I am doing?" The boy answered, "You are defending yourself from the wooden man, Master." Master Zhang Qi was impressed as he said, "Yes, I was. Now watch this." Master Zhang Qi began to move his arms slowly, then faster and faster. The boy was shocked to see how fast he was moving. As he stopped suddenly, he asked the boy, "What was I doing now?" The boy looked at him and he answered, "You were moving so fast it was becoming nothing but a blur." Master Zhang Qi smiled, saying, "That is right, Siddhartha." From this point, I could see many visions within visions. I believe this was being shown to me because the young boy was becoming a young man. The training over the next 5 human years was just incredible. To see the physical reality of the long-gone past of Siddhartha becoming a young man. What was being revealed to me now, Master Zhang Qi, during Siddhartha's training, was asked to follow him, as it was the moment to introduce him to a large room that held all the events from the past to the present moment. When they entered that room, all I could see was a massive amount of shelving that would have been at least 4 meters in height. In most of these shelving squares, there were large books as well as cylinders, which were like what we would call scrolls. What Master Zhang Qi said to Siddhartha was quite interesting. This is your room of inner and outer learning. Everything you need to know about the inner worlds as well as the outer worlds are within this room alone. Over the next 38 moons, you are to read all that is within here, as well as to put the knowledge into practice through mind meditation. On awakening and having food first, you are to come within this room and begin your journey of transformation to your higher self. And if you need help, there will be a disciple who will come to me, and I will come to you. All that you need to exist will be brought to you. You see that door? Once opened, it will reveal a space for you to enjoy the sun as well as to train in what you have learned. Besides anything else, this is your place for 38 moons. Do you accept and understand your journey? Siddhartha looked around the room, answering, I accept my journey in all that you have said to me, Master Zhang Qi. So the journey of Siddhartha began as Master Zhang Qi smiled at him. As he left the room, leaving him to ponder where to start, he walked around all the shelving, looking up and down. It seemed to be for quite a while, like several hours passing, when there was a loud knock at the door, with Siddhartha saying, Yes, come in, whoever it is. As the door opened, a disciple walked in with a wooden tray that had food within it. Siddhartha smiled with joy as he said, Food, food, this is what I need. Thank you, Tong. As the disciple Tong put the wooden tray on the table, he asked, So how many scrolls have you read so far? Siddhartha laughed out loud with an answer, Not one as yet. I cannot seem to find where to start, Tong. My belly is empty. Maybe the food will encourage me to find where to begin. Tong, looking over to the left side of the room, then from what I could see, this man Tong would be in his early 50s. He speaks out briefly. Siddhartha, when I entered this room long ago, I also found it hard to know where to begin. I would sit asking myself, which shelf? It took a while, but I learned to listen to my inner self, and the answer being the first answer was this shelf. That was my beginning of my journey. Maybe you should try that. I saw as my vision became larger with Tong leaving the room. As Siddhartha looked at the shelf that Tong mentioned for several moments, then he spoke out. No, maybe food first. He sat looking at his food and his drink, then ate it all, including drinking all the milk and water from the well. Suddenly, he looked at the shelf at the bottom on the right side of himself, and he began his inner journey to self-enlightenment. Day after day, week after week, month after month, I could see Siddhartha totally engrossed within all books, all scrolls, doing his meditations outside. The visions seemed sometimes to overlap each other. I could see Master Zhang Qi many times over the next 38 moons. Much time then dissipated. Then I saw Master Zhang Qi entering the room, speaking to him. Siddhartha, your time in this room has come to an end. We must discuss some matter. Come with me, please. The look on Siddhartha's face was a happy one. They both walked out. He followed the Master Zhang Qi, entering another room that seemed to be some kind of sitting room with low-type seats about 70 centimeters square, with Master Zhang Qi saying, "So, Siddhartha, you have achieved a great lesson in your journey. Even when you did many meditations outside, I watched you many times, and I was very pleased to see how you practice in separating your spirit body from your physical self. Now I will demonstrate a further development for you to achieve. Please sit and watch me. No words, just watch." As Siddhartha sat down, Master Zhang Qi stood about 2 meters in front of him. He closed his eyes and uttered a series of words softly to himself. Within moments, I was beyond words. Again, here I am seeing exactly what I have been training myself for. Out-of-body experience, more so self-projection of one's spirit with full self-awareness of both the physical and the spirit world. The look on Siddhartha's face was a surprised look, seeing his Master Zhang standing outside of his physical self, as if they were both twins, yet one was physical and the other a transparent spirit. What came next is what I already had achieved within my own understanding. He spoke out to Siddhartha, asking, "Is this something you wish to achieve?" As Siddhartha stared at his Master Zhang, he answered, "Yes, Master, like my dreams. I know I come out of my body in many ways. What you have just shown me is what I wish to achieve." Master Zhang nodded his head, saying, "Then let's do it right now. Lay on that soft matting." As Siddhartha stands up, he walks over to the matting, laying down. Master Zhang sits down beside him, saying, "First, you must keep your eyes closed unless I ask you to open them. Do you understand me, Siddhartha?" He answered, "Yes, Master." He closed his eyes, waiting. Master Zhang moving his hand over Siddhartha's chakra centers, saying some words softly that I could not hear. This went on for a minute or two. As I was viewing this vision, I saw swirling energies coming into reality around each of his main chakras. They were similar to the colors to what I was used to. That is, this time in 2025. Then I heard Master Zhang Qi speak out, saying, "All is within balance." I called out the spirit of Siddhartha. "Rise up, spirit, into the human world. Come join me now, please, spirit." Wow, I thought to myself, looking at the transparent spirit of this Siddhartha. As he rose up more and more vertically, he stood at the foot of his own physical body. Master Zhang also rose up, looking at the spirit of Siddhartha with a smile, saying, "Well done. This is the starting point of achieving your true self. From this moment, there is no looking back. The past is the past. This moment is your present reality, and within every moment to come will be your creation of your future reality in life. Over the next 96 moons, I will guide you in so many forms of techniques. You will learn the true secrets of your true self, in how suddenly to become invisible to all others, how to leap beyond gravity, in how to move your physical reality beyond this vibration. You will learn in how to move your physical body at great speeds, even with weapons, with so much more. As I was viewing this long gone past, being just under 3,000 years ago, and what I was seeing with my own eyes was all the things Master Zhang just stated above. I sat completely in wonderment of this amazing Master Zhang, who in this present moment, being 2025, is in truth my wife Misha, but in true reality is Kalusha, who is an Akaron, who has existed for 3.83 million years in her own evolution. My viewing time just sped up, seeing Master Zhang Qi teaching his disciple Siddhartha over the next 8 years. Seeing Master Zhang and Siddhartha growing older, with Siddhartha being around 29 human years, Master Zhang was giving a talk to all his disciples outside in the yard, and what he said was incredible. Here we all sit. I have to say this. Being within these walls have been the most happiest times of my life. All of you are so incredible. Your devotion to the learning within this monastery is an example to the world. But the moment has come for me to leave. As my journey is finished upon this world, I have other places to venture, to learn, or even give more teachings. Before I go beyond this world, I must share a vision I received. What we have within these walls is a man who will take up my place as master, which I have given all that I have learned in my life to him. He is a man of true heart, and I ask Siddhartha to come here, please, and sit with me as I begin my journey beyond this world. As Siddhartha stands walking over to Master Zhang, then sitting down beside him, Master Zhang speaks out. I received a message that the King of India, who is Siddhartha's father, will be here by the end of this day. He has come to take Siddhartha back to India to groom him, so in the coming years will become the new king of India. It will be Siddhartha's choosing if he goes back with his father or chooses to stay in the monastery and become the new master within these walls. My vision also gives me a name if Siddhartha wishes to stay. He will be called Master Buddha. The meaning of the name is one who has become enlightened, or one who has awoken to one's own divinity to become infinity. What came next was a total surprise, with Siddhartha standing up, bowing to Master Zhang Qi, saying, Master, I thank you for everything you have done for me ever since I came to this monastery at the age of 4. What I have learned from you over all these years has been the greatest inspirational experiences that I have ever had. I know in my own heart my father will be coming to take me back to India. I have already made my choice even before you just spoke about your vision. I want to stay, not just within these walls. I want to take the meaning of what we are all about to the people by visiting the different communities in the surrounding areas. This is what I have chosen, Master Zhang. There are a few moments of silence as Master Zhang Qi looks at him with a deep expression of heart love, and then he spoke. A part of me is saddened for your father, yet I'm also full of joy in your choice. From this moment on, you will be called Master Buddha. Today is the day for you to take my position as the master of this monastery. Today, in this moment, is the beginning of a new adventure in my own life, to leave this world and enter another. We, Siddhartha, being now as Master Buddha, will come into another existence upon this world through reincarnation. I have already seen this coming in our reality in what is called 4 BC, where you will be born yet again as a baby boy, and I will have already been born and grow up as a woman and have you as my child to come. Now is the moment to say my goodbyes until we meet again. As I looked into seeing the long gone past, what came next was no surprise to me, as I remember through my own cellular memory in what I have experienced before. Master Zhang Qi, with one of his biggest, brightest smiles on his face, began his process of vaporizing from his physical body and turning into pure golden energy. As he sat with his legs folded, he lifted one arm with kind of a wave to all, and that continuous smile, which was just amazing. Within those moments, he began to lose the shape of his human form, and as energy he rose up, as if the wind disformed him. As all the disciples just looked on with great sadness, some were sobbing deeply for the loss of their master. What happened next would be interesting. There was a loud knock at the main entrance door. Siddhartha, as Master Buddha, walked over to the large solid wooden door. As he opened both doors, he saw the king's soldiers standing there, with one speaking out. The king and queen of India are here to take back their son to India. Please bring Prince Siddhartha to his father and mother so we may leave. Siddhartha, as Master Buddha, answered, I am Siddhartha. I will go and see my father and my mother. Because there are soldiers on horses both sides of the king and the queen's carriages, the soldiers who spoke out then turned and speaking out again. Make way for Prince Siddhartha. Seeing the soldiers on horses all backing up, Siddhartha walked down one side till he reached the carriages and stepped up into them. What I was seeing changed. Now I was seeing inside of the carriage. I saw the king being his father and the queen being his mother. They both just stared at each other, and the son with complete amazement in how he had grown up into a man. Inside of the huge carriage was breathtaking. Everything seemed to be lined with the color gold. Maybe it was solid gold. It looked so real, even solid in appearance, the entire carriage. The Queen Maya gave her son first a big smile, then said, I have not seen you, my son, for so long. Are you going to give your mother a big embracement? Siddhartha moved to her, embracing her for several moments. The Queen Maya began to cry. Her love for her son was deeply shown. Then he let go, turning to his father, embracing him tightly also for several moments, with his father saying, You are very strong, my son. My body feels as if it will break. As Siddhartha let go, he sits himself down, looking at them both, saying, I missed you, mother and father, very much. I am so happy in this day in seeing both of you. But it is also a sad day, as Master Zhang Qi has passed away just before you arrived. The king, with a saddened look, says, I am sorry to hear this, as I was going to see him and thank him for caring for you, my son. Is there another to take his place so I can thank him? Siddhartha shows signs of tears rolling down his face as he answered, Yes, father, there is another. He is called Master Buddha. His father speaks out, Then we must go and say thank you to him. Siddhartha looked at his mother, then his father with sadness, saying, He is here, father. The king and queen both looked around with some confusion, with his father asking, Is he outside of this carriage? If so, I will see him. Siddhartha speaks out softly, I am Buddha, father, mother. I have been chosen to be Buddha of this monastery. The Queen Maya looks at her son, then says, You are my son. Have you been anointed by who? Siddhartha answered, By Master Zhang Qi, just before he passed away. He has taught me everything he knew. When I was a young man, he put me into a room that held all the books of knowledge, as well as all the scrolls. I was there for 38 moons until I read everything. He taught me all about the spirit world, even the meaning of reincarnation and the purpose of all life. The Queen Maya smiled at her son, then spoke out, I told you our son was more than in becoming the king of India. This is truly a blessing for us, as well as all the people. Our son, called Buddha, which has the meaning of enlightened one, he is the savior of the people, Siddhartha. We must allow our son to follow his chosen path of life's journey. The father shows signs of being slightly upset as he answered, Well, my son, is this what you truly want, to be a Buddha of the people? not the king of India? This is amazing to view, like an old movie. Siddhartha looks at his father answering, "Yes, father, it is what I want. It is my destiny." Queen Maya shows signs of being so happy for her son as the king, Subhodana, speaks out, "Well, if this is what you want, then so be it. Now, I will have to groom your brother, my son, Prince Nanda, in becoming the king of India. That is when I enter the invisible world of Loka. I need to give a brief description of the meaning of the word Loka or Luka. In India, one of the religions is Hinduism, which is quite common here. Loka, the word, is Sanskrit. The meaning can vary, like being a realm or planet, a plane of existence, even dimension. It's all based on their personal belief systems through their religions. At this point, time as we in this moment just seemed to go so fast with what I was being shown. Then there were the goodbyes with the king, Subhana, I should say Subhondana, speaking out. "It is time for me and your mother to leave, my son. Maybe when you settle yourself in this new position as Master Buddha, you can come to India and stay for a bit. Your brother and sister would be very excited if you chose to come." As the king and queen Maya said their goodbyes to their son, Siddhartha stood on the bridge watching the carriage disappear in the distance. He walked back within the grounds of the monastery, closing the two large solid timber gates. And I mean solid large gates. It would take a lot to break them down. What he saw next touched his heart deeply. All the disciples were bowing to him as their new Master Buddha, showing total respect. He walked up closely, saying to them all, "Thank you, my brothers. Please rise." Then he bowed to them for several moments. As he rose up, he said, "This day has been one of the saddest days for all of us. In losing our Master Zhang Qi, I felt that he would always be within these walls. Yet there is a very brighter meaning to what took place with Master Zhang." Final departure. His teachings have many different meanings for each of us to unfold. He left in a way that very few would ever accomplish. He discovered a path in his life that became his true reality. He has proven, not only to himself, but to all of us within these walls, that everything, no matter what, is possible, because we are all not just the body. We are pure living energy. Even our physical body is pure energy. What we each saw with our own eyes is the magic of knowing. Through his mind, he dissolved his physical essence and became his true self, being pure energy, and departed this physical world as if he never existed. Well, my brothers, our learning has taken a new path in each of our lives. Over the next 2 to 3 moons, I will be spending my time in writing up a new scroll that will give the whole life of our departed Master Zhang Qi. So in the future to come, new disciples will have a deeper understanding of all possibilities that can become also one's own reality. As I watched what was being revealed to me, time as we know it sped up. It's like all the disciples within the monastery walls were moving at triple speed. It did cause a little bit of confusion within what I was seeing, yet it didn't last that long. What came next to me looked like some kind of new adventure for Master Buddha. He was walking up to the main gates with some kind of backpack, as well as 2 of his disciples were going with him, and also had unusual backpacks themselves. As they opened the gates, I saw all the disciples walking behind Master Buddha and had a concerned look on their faces, with one saying to him, "Master Buddha, please allow more of us to come with you. There have been attacks from bandits on villages. We have had word it may not be safe to travel." Master Buddha smiles at them, saying, when one feels fear, one attracts fear, no matter where that fear comes from. I have had a vision that I do need to go to the people. I also know I will be safe. To believe is to know. To disbelieve is to create the feeling of being unsafe. All will be good, my brothers, in whatever the outcome will be. We will see you all within one moon. As the three of them walked over the bridge, the disciples seemed a little worried. Yet, within a short time, the three of them disappeared into the distance. I saw the two gates close. Then the viewing was focused on Master Buddha and his two disciples. It seemed they walked for hours. Then in the distance a village appeared with Master Buddha and his two disciples walking within the village grounds. The locals were completely surprised in seeing Buddha himself. What was revealed to me was truly an epic. I thought for a moment that in that I was seeing some kind of mist surrounding Master Buddha. Yet the color of this so-called mist kept changing color, especially when Master Buddha smiled or spoke to the locals. Then it hit me. This was not mist. It was Master Buddha's aura changing color because of his expressions of words or his feelings of love. I must say from my own research in my own past, I did discover that when Buddha went into villages, the locals could feel his presence, and that was his aura energies, because his master Zhang Qi taught him from a young age all about the aura and energies, and that everything in existence is pure energy. Again, time as we know it sped up. Seeing Master and his two disciples going from one village to another. In all, there were many small celebrations. As his journey came to an end, it seemed it was time to travel back to the monastery. The journey would take several days, yet the three of them seemed very confident, very happy in what they have achieved throughout their travels. As they began traveling up the mountains, to their horror, they found 6 dead bodies who seemed to be brutally murdered, with Master Buddha saying, "These 6 men come directly from India. My father, the king, told me he would send some wealth to the monastery, so in our travels to the villages, we could help them out in buying things they would need. It is quite clear that their horses and everything else has been taken. We must show respect to the deceased by burying them and informing the king to what has taken place." What they did next was quite a show, with Master Buddha and his two disciples moving the 6 deceased bodies closer to a small rocky mound, laying them all together, then collecting large amounts of large rocks and building a half-moon surround and eventually covering up all the bodies. Then, to my surprise, gathering up soil and filling up the holes between the rocks, which did take a while. Yet I thought they were finished. I was wrong. Master Buddha explained to his two disciples to find little types of small bushes. Then they placed them within the soil between the rocks all over. One of his disciples asked him, "Master, why are we planting small bushes within these rocks?" Master Buddha spoke out, "Once the bushes are settled in, they will grow all over these rocks that cover up the bodies. They will also use the energy from the bodies, and no one will realize that under all of this are human bodies, so no one will attempt to move it, and it is a sign of respect to the deceased." The compassion that Master Buddha was showing revealed his true essence of being a man of the true heart for all of humanity. His father being the King of India and the Queen Maya, and from what I have so far observed, showed me they were also of heart. And it proved beyond doubt that if a set of parents are in tune with their own balance of the heart, then the transfer of genetics to their child will be, in most cases, 100% balance. And the child or children will almost be in perfect balance, 100% from the heart. Now that they have finished with the burial, and Master Buddha saying some words over the deceased men, they began to leave the area, walking up different paths of the mountain. As the day is beginning to come to an end, Master Buddha spoke out saying, I believe it is time for us to rest our weary body and eat some food and have a good sleep, and in the morning complete our journey back to the monastery, and we should be there by nightfall. As I viewed the present moments, seeing the two disciples laying some rocks to make a fire, Master Buddha was organizing foods. As the fire was burning brightly, they all sat around it, eating the food, what seemed to be some kind of bread, as well as some kind of small thing that I cannot comment on, because I couldn't work out what they were. What I did see was Master Buddha standing up and walking over to some larger kind of bushes and picking off what looked like dark berries. He then came back to the fire and gave some to each of the two disciples, with one of them saying, I remember these fruits long ago. When I was a little child, my mummy had these, and they tasted so good. These ones are good too. Master Buddha smiled at him, replying, Yes, back in India, they grew in the gardens of the palace. My grandmother knew all about the goodness of fruits, especially the herbs. My father always listened to his mother and made sure that all the people surrounding the palace had the goodness of all good foods. Viewing the past of Buddha gave me such tingling feelings within my entire body. I knew what I was feeling. It was my reality to my cellular memory. That truth, and only the truth, will set each of us free from our own self-created negative emotions, which carry on from one lifetime to the next lifetime. That's our personal goal to look at, to resolve, and move on to the new journey of life as a human being. The darkness of the night was upon them. The only light that I could see was the fire burning brightly. The three of them had conversations, and then they slept until the sun rose. As they just completed packing their things, Master Buddha looked up suddenly, showing deep signs of concern. Then out of nowhere, all those horsemen appeared, basically encircling the three of them. The noise of the horses as well as the men upon them yelling out, with the Master Buddha and his two disciples standing up, just looking at them, with one man on his horse raised his hand up high. All sounds became quiet. The man spoke out, asking, What are you three doing out here in my territory? Master Buddha answered, We are on our way back to the monastery, that is all. The man with a smug look asks, Why are you going to that monastery? Master Buddha answered, We live within the monastery. One of the disciples speaks out harshly, This is Master Buddha, show him respect. The man who is the bandit asked, You are the Buddha? Master Buddha answers, Yes, I am. The man who is the bandit says, I finally meet the Buddha, who is the son of the King of India. The bandit looks to his men saying, We are all going to be wealthy, my men. We have Buddha to trade. I think the King of India will give us everything we ask for. We do not need the other two men. Kill them. Master Buddha spoke out in a high voice, saying, You will not be killing anyone anymore, barbarian. You killed the king's men who were on their way to the monastery. The leader bandit shows a face of evil. Then he spoke out, What? You, a single man, telling me that I cannot kill anyone? You are a fool, Buddha. I have 20 well-armed men on horses. What do you have, Buddha? Nothing, from what I can see. Master Buddha looks at his two disciples with a look of concern for their life, then back at the barbarian, saying, What must be will be. The barbarian bandit raises his hand as two of the bandits shoot out an arrow at the two disciples. Master Buddha did not realize in that moment, and it was too late to stop the arrows. They both hit their mark, one hitting a disciple in his stomach, as the other in his chest. Both disciples hitting the ground. I saw the expression on Buddha's face. He turned, moving to them. They were both still alive, but in deep pain. The barbarian bandit says, "You, Agagan, go and finish them off. Then we will take his son of the king of India and work on a plan to trade him." As the bandits moved his horse towards the two disciples, drawing out his sword, I could see, which was intriguing to me, in what Master Buddha was about to do. He leaped up from the ground so high, giving out a swift, most forceful side kick, which hit the bandit directly on the left side of his neck. What I heard next was just incredible, like bones breaking loudly. As Master Buddha landed gently on the ground, he smacked the back end of the horse. As it galloped off, the bandit fell to the ground heavily, who to me looked quite dead. The leader of the bandits' facial expression was one of being completely shocked. I could tell that it took several moments until he yelled out to his men in a deep, ring-sounding voice, "All of you move in, surround the Buddha, but remember, he is worth a king's fortune." As the leader's men began to move towards Buddha, it was like I knew what he was about to do. He moved so swiftly away from his two disciples, knowing if he stayed where he was, his two disciples would have more likely been trampled by the bandits' horses. The leader of the bandits thought that Buddha was making a run for it and leaving his two disciples behind. He yelled out loudly, "Don't let Buddha get away, surround him." As the bandits moved past him, surrounding him, Master Buddha stopped dead in his tracks, just standing there like he was in some form of trance meditation, being as quiet as a mouse. The leader of the bandits moved up between some of the horses, looking at Buddha with some curiosity. He rubbed his chin, then spoke out saying, "I thought you were going to abandon your two disciples, Buddha. Why is your head bending down and you are so quiet? Do you think I cannot see you?" Then it was clear to me he was preparing himself for what is to come, or more to the point, in what he was about to say or do. He then raised his head, looking around at each of the bandits for several moments, like he was planning their positions in some form of strategy. I could see, even feel, as I reviewed this very intense moment, it was quite clear to Master Buddha, if he gave himself up to the bandits, they would automatically kill his two disciples. Buddha looked directly at the leader of the bandits, then said, "Everything in life has the possibilities of being positive or negative. So to me, whatever the outcome will be in this moment, to me, again, will be a positive one." The leader of the bandit looked at him, laughing out loudly, then asked, "You may think, Buddha, that it may be positive, but look around. What you see is 20 of my men who are totally loyal to me and will do whatever I ask of them. So it will not only be a positive outcome for you, Buddha. You are the man. I am 21 men, including myself, and you have no weapons. We do. So what can you do that will make it a positive outcome for you, Buddha?" There was silence for a few moments. Then Master Buddha spoke. "I have already seen the outcome of what will be. All of you will perish. Then I will help my two disciples and return to the monastery. But all of you are murderers and much more. Justice will be served on this day for all the pain, the misery all of you have placed upon others, especially the communities. So, leader of murderers, what will be your next move?" The leader of the bandit is showing signs of facial anger as he gives his order to his men. "Dismount, my men. Move in slowly and capture him, but do not cause him pain, as he is worth a king's ransom. Do it now." Just as the men were going to dismount, Buddha sprang up on the back of a horse, attacking the leader's men one by one, moving from one horse to another which causes the horses total confusion, with some raising up high on their back legs. As Buddha moves so fast, he also kicks with such force, knocking men off their horses, hitting the ground heavily. Within several moments, all 20 men had been removed from their horses. Some horses galloped away. The leader of the bandits was trying to calm his horse. He looked at Buddha with horror, yelling out to his men, get up, all you fools, and capture him, or I will have your heads." I could see that some of the bandits were either dead or knocked out cold, yet most got up and tried to capture him. But the swiftness of Buddha's movements was just too fast for any of the bandits. They just kept falling to the ground. The leader of the bandits looked on, realizing it might be a negative outcome for him. So he yelled out, "Cut him down with your swords, kill him." The ones that could stand up slid out their swords, swinging madly at Buddha, trying desperately from all directions to kill him. What I saw next just inspired my own heart in seeing Master Buddha leaping backwardly high up into a tree. It looks like around 20 feet high. Then in that moment, Buddha took in a deep breath. It's like everything about him began to change, like he was creating something that was magical, yet so powerful at the same time. I could see an energy swirling all around him, and out of nowhere, he dispersed that energy with his hands from his heart. The energy shot down directly at the bandits, hitting all of them except the leader. The next few moments were so intense in what happened. As the energy hit the men, they just started vibrating more and more, dropping their swords, just vibrating faster and faster, then dropped suddenly to the ground. The energy was gone. The men just lay there without movement. It's like they looked slightly twisted in their human form. The shocked look on the leader's face told the whole story. He couldn't fathom what just happened. As Master Buddha landed back on the ground, the leader looked at him, saying sarcastically in a heavy, loud voice, "What have you done to my men?" Buddha seemed to give him a very serious look, saying, "I have simply brought justice to this very present situation. It is you who have caused your men to become dead from all the misery you and your men have done to so many people. You alone are responsible for all of this negativity." As the leader looked at Buddha with such anger, he swings his sword madly and charges towards Buddha, yelling out, "I will kill you. Then I will go and kill all of your family." I am amazed to see so much hatred and anger from the long gone past. I believe beyond all things that the past of humanity will continue to haunt every single human person throughout every single incarnation until each of us take full responsibility for every thought, for every action throughout all of our lives on this planet Earth. Everything throughout human history, especially the last 928,000 years, which includes over 157,000 violent wars and over 19 billion human people brutally murdered over that period of human evolution. That is why we suffer so much in our present reality. We each are not in control of our own life, let alone our own evolution. We all have been hijacked by an evil group of elite criminals who are hell-bent on eliminating 90% of humanity. You may ask why. The answer is simple. They cannot control 8.3 billion human people. By removing 90% of people, it will make it so much easier for them to control the balance of people on this planet Earth. Doesn't that make complete sense? What I saw next was intriguing, to say the least. As this so-called leader swung his sword at Buddha so forcefully, Master Buddha had his both arms behind his back. His movements were incredible in avoiding this very angry man's sword. Buddha leaped backwardly, stopping himself, standing very still. The leader stopped, feeling a little winded, staring at him, when suddenly the leader tried to move fast towards Buddha. But in that moment, I saw everything slow down as Buddha moved swiftly at him, removing the sword from his hand, turning the point of the blade directly at the leader, driving it straight through the leader's chest like it went through his stone heart. Everything was still as the leader looked at Buddha with pain in his eyes, then fell dead to the ground. Buddha moved swiftly to his two disciples. I saw him holding each arrow, and they seemed to slide right out of the two disciples' stomach and chest. What came next truly amazed me. I saw him put a hand on each of the disciples' wounds. Within moments of viewing this situation, a pure golden light emanated from his hands directly within the wounds, then spreading all around the two disciples' bodies. As I watched this, the golden healing light, it brought back a deep memory from my own personal experience I had back in 1988 on the Gold Coast of Queensland, Australia. I was going through a transformation to die physically or to live physically from serious lung cancer. I was given around 11 months to live if I didn't have surgery. I personally have always believed what we each create, we can uncreate. But more to the point, not through the human brain, only through one's mind that is pure energy. I saw on a few occasions golden light all around my heart and lung area. So I took the challenge and chose to live. That was 37 human years ago, and I have never looked back. What we each need to fully understand that we each are the creators of everything in our existence of life, and our thoughts and actions are the end result to our personal evolution of human life on this planet Earth. So I watched on. I saw the golden light dissipate. What was strange to me was seeing 21 lifeless human bodies just laying all around. Yes, they were all evil bandits who had absolutely no feelings, no heart, nor empathy, nor compassion. They were rapists, murderers, thieves. The sad part was they enjoyed the negativity of what they did throughout their human existence. As I viewed on, Master Buddha spoke to his two injured disciples. My friends, I am so sorry. I have to leave you both laying here. But now you two will survive your ordeal. The bleeding has stopped. The wound has congealed. And once I have disposed of the bodies, I will make two hammocks and attach them to two of those horses, and we will return to the monastery where both of you will rest and fully recover. Please lay here, very still, while I clean up this unfortunate mess. As Buddha stood up with his hands on either side of his hips, he looks around, first at the lifeless bodies. He walked over to an edge where there was a very deep terrain. To me, it looked like the depths of this terrain would never end. As I watched on, which seems to go on forever, Buddha used two horses to help move the lifeless bodies to the edge of the terrain, then pushed each body over the edge. His facial expression showed how sad it is that certain humans never learn and end up becoming completely evil. As he reached the end of disposing of the 21 bodies, he also threw all the weapons into the terrain, so nothing was left of what took place. Master Buddha stood at the edge for a long period of time, saying some words very softly, which I couldn't make out. Then I saw him making and attaching the two hammocks to the horses, then placing a disciple on each of one. He also tied each of them to the hammock, just in case, mainly for their safety. As he held both leads of the horses, he began their journey back to the monastery. It seemed once again, time as we know it moved quite fast. From what I could see, at least 2 full days passed by as they finally reached the large bridge, which was connected to the monastery. As Master Buddha walked over the bridge, the 2 gates opened up wide, revealing to me, in what I could tell, were most of the disciples with astonished looks on their faces. They moved quickly to help him bring the 2 horses within the monastery. Once in, closing the 2 gates, there were lots of conversations being heard, sounding like a coffee shop or restaurant that had tile floors, making it all sound like 100 chickens squawking all at the same time. It did sound funny as I tried to listen to their conversations without success because of the amount of detail it would have taken. What was being shown to me were quick sections of time passing by. Example, Master Buddha was explaining all that had happened while he was on his adventure with different communities. Then the negative aspects of what took place with the bandits, which seemed to be completely amazed to them, yet at the same time also shocked all of the disciples. Many questions were asked of Master Buddha, which I am certain he would have answered them all. Then I saw Buddha within the walls where all the books and scrolls were stored, just walking around and around like he was looking for something in particular. From what I could see, he was alone. Then he stopped, closing his eyes for several moments. As he opened them, he looked up at a particular sections of stored books. Then he did his thing, leaping up high, grabbing an old book, a large book, and landing gently back on the solid floor, still sitting himself down on the floor with his legs spread out. He laid the books on the floor and began to turn the pages. From the look on his face, he must have chosen the right book. As I was viewing it, it seemed to bring it closer to my eyes. I could see a name on the left side of the book. To my amazement, the name was Zheng Qi, who was the Master Buddha until his passing into another universal realm. I took notice that everything within that book was written in Sanskrit. What became apparent to me as total truth, this ancient book explained everything about an ancient form of numerology. And what I was about to say is extraordinary, to say the least. Back in the time being 13,331 human years ago, a man was born called Zhenglai Wang, who in reality was an alien female called Kalusha, who had made a decision along with a male called Kuntarkis from a planet called Nakaris, which is 417,000 light years from planet Earth, to incarnate into human form, naturally as babies at different factors of time. If the listeners wanted more information about what I just stated, please listen to the latest episode called The Silent Assassin, where it will give lots of detail on Zhenglai Wang and Shang Lu Sha, who reincarnated on planet Earth in order to change human history. Why, you may ask? Their positive actions saved well over 58 million human lives from being violently slaughtered through wars by a man called Emperor Huang Chang back then. He was a very evil man in his dictatorship. He also had 6 sons who would have followed his form of ruthlessness as a dictator. What Zhenglai Wang and Shang Lu Sha accomplished was pure, amazing miracles back then. So as Master Buddha studied the ancient book on what is called today, in the year 2025, numerology, in Sanskrit the word is Shay Kani. Its meaning in Sanskrit is the foundation of all creation. He realized within himself that his master Zhang Qi wrote the book on ancient numerology. But more to the point, I was just shown that the book originally existed on the planet Taurus. The beings are called the Ilias. It was an ancient Grand Master Ilia who in reality created the first book based on numerology. And it was an Acharon called Kalusha who was invited to spend some time learning all about Shay Kani, being numerology, who came from the planet Nakaris and was given a complete book on numerology to take back to the Nakaron world. And through many years of research, Kalusha formulated the contents to suit the Nakaron civilization. And through her cellular memory, she recreated the book as Zhenglai Wang back 13,331 human years ago in order to help humanity in understanding the totality of the foundation of all creation. In this moment, I was shown a different vision, and I followed the trail of light to a pyramid that was deep under thousands of tons of sand. And within that pyramid, which I saw just for a moment, a large brownish book, and I heard the words say softly, "This is the book on Amshay Kani." It still exists to this very moment upon planet Earth in human time. Then the vision began to dissipate, and I was back seeing Master Buddha still viewing the numerology book. It was like he was so engrossed within its contents. What suddenly appeared totally surprised me. I was no longer in the sacred room of knowledge. I was in a sandy desert, which to me looked like old Egypt. What was in front of me made me smile deeply. It was a half-built pyramid, massively huge, and as I heard some voices, I turned to my left and I saw something just amazing. One very amazing spaceship with some very unusual moving equipment. Then my eyes just stared directly at the pyramid. Huge rectangular sandstone rock were coming out of this massive machine. They looked perfectly folded or formed. Then I saw this man who had ginger hair about my height. He had all these wires and some kind of control system over him. He was lifting these large rocks and guiding them to fit perfectly into the walls of the pyramid. The large rocks were being levitated. As I looked around the area, I saw at least 15 men doing the same thing, levitating these large rectangular rocks on different sides of the massive pyramid. It was just incredible to witness such an event from so long ago. Then it hit me. These beings are an alien race called Ilias, and this proves to me personally that the Ilias built the pyramids well over 20,000 human years ago, because the information I discovered is within my book called The Book of Knowledge, I Am Alien. Then time just seemed to speed up. I was seeing this massive pyramid being completed so fast, what seemed like moments, that it all went back to normal time. What was before me? One massively completed pyramid. All I could say now, wow, will you look at that? Again, everything in that, in what I was seeing, just began to vanish into nothingness, and I was back in the sacred room of knowledge, seeing Master Buddha still engrossed. It seemed lots of time just passed by, and then I was outside seeing all the disciples packing things into some kind of large wagon, and it was attached to two horses that Buddha brought back with him that did carry the two injured disciples back to the monastery. Again, I saw the same thing happening where Master Buddha and his disciples were within the wagon, out traveling to visit different communities. It seemed like it went on forever, yet in reality, time passed by quite quickly. I was seeing fire in the near distance. Then I saw it was Buddha and his disciples. I could see at least 6 disciples with Master Buddha, all sitting around a fire having conversations, even lots of laughter. Then the whole scenery changed within moments. They had reached a large type of city, and I heard Buddha saying, "We are here in Lambindai, where I was born. The palace is on the other side. Let's move. I am looking forward in seeing my family." Then I saw the wagon moving between sort of square-like type buildings, which looked like homes. I saw so many of the people stop, just staring at Buddha and his disciples with some or deep curiosity. There were these gatherings of so many people, and I could see stalls of some kind with lots of vegetables of different varieties, as well as lots of fruits, even herbs, and a variety of beans, some small, some larger, of many different colors. This went on until I reached the palace. At the front, large timber gates were several guards. Buddha smiled at them, saying, "My name is Siddhartha, son to the Emperor of India, more so known as Buddha. May we enter, please? The guards, looking at them with one asking, We know you, Prince Siddhartha. We need to know who those men are. Buddha answered, They are my disciples at the monastery. The guard replies, Then you may enter, Prince Siddhartha. As the other guards opened the huge gates, Buddha, who was leading the horses, entered the palace grounds. There were lots of people working, especially groundspeople, all around the gardens. The flowers were just amazing. The colours were intriguing. So many unusual, rich colours. Many of the groundspeople stopped, looking at the wagon, with Buddha and his disciples within it. Buddha yells out, It is I, Prince Siddhartha. Hello to all of you. The gardens look so beautiful. Your work is wonderful. Many of the groundspeople stopped, looking at him smiling, even waving. One of the disciples said to Master Buddha, whose name is Fong, This is a beautiful garden, Master. Everything is so colourful. The palace is so big, so well designed. Maybe you can ask your father for some cuttings and we can plant them within the monastery gardens. This is very interesting about reincarnation. The disciple that just spoke to Master Buddha is the reincarnation of an alien from the planet Nakaris. His name is Nakaris, who, in this present reality of 2025, is my human son called JC. Then I saw the smile on Buddha's face as he answered, Yes, Fong, I was just thinking the same as you. We will do that. As the wagon pulled up at the bottom of the wide stairs that led directly into the palace, Buddha looked up, seeing his father, his mother, his brother, and sister at the top of the stairs, all smiling, even waving. It was truly an amazing and beautiful sight to witness such wonderful moments of the long-gone past. From what I was viewing, it showed me that they were an amazing, heart-loving family, and the king and queen had deep feelings towards all the people of India. It is sad to see how many sick people there are today in India, especially in how so many children die each year. You have to ask yourself the question, why? Without going into it, the time is coming for all those responsible, and they will be held accountable. The world as it is today is finally waking up to the evil, sick, perverted, elite criminals in what they have and are doing to humanity. I can see Buddha stepping down on the ground, then walking quite fast up the long, wide, deep stairs. From what I could see, the palace on the outside was just amazing. The stairs alone were solid rock and had carvings all over them, especially with elephant carvings everywhere. As Master Buddha was walking up the long, wide stairs, I noticed the 6 disciples staying within the wagon. As Buddha reached the top of the stairs, his father, Sadhodana, moved in, giving him a big embracement. I saw the expression on his father's face. It showed so much happiness to finally see his son. As he spoke, My son, you have made my heart feel so warm with you being here. Siddhartha, as Buddha, smiled warmly to his father, saying, Me as well, my father. His father asks, We must talk further at a later time, my son, as there is something I need to say to you. Buddha replies, Yes, father, some time together would be good. As the King of India stepped back, his mother, Queen Maya, walked up smiling with some tears. I could see the deep love that is present within the family. His mother doesn't even speak, just cuddles him for many moments. It was a sight to see with my own eyes, to be embraced by a mother that I had so long ago. It is something that I will cherish deeply within the essence of my heart, of my inner being. This is something I need to explain before you judge in what I have just said. Please understand that reincarnation has existed from the dawn of reality, being time in its present factor. All of us as humans have lived many different forms of lives through reincarnation. Some no matter who you are in this present moment, have played the roles as a king, a queen, an emperor, a son or daughter born to royalty, then just simply a farmer or whatever. We all experience dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of lives. Some become rich and famous, or simply rich. Some live a life of misery with lots of negative emotional pain. Some live their lives in complete happiness, while many others live a life of being a drug addict or an alcoholic, while others are born to simply cause pain to others. Whatever the reason may be, please understand this. All of it, and I mean all of it, is learning your life. And it's all based on personal, self-created karma, be it positive or negative karma. That's the end result of the lives we each have experienced, and it is our own personal journey to deal with. Let's call our personal karma and learning to find the way to balance our life in becoming a true human being of our own heart. As the Queen Maya lets go, she steps back as the brother and sister walk up, both embracing him tightly. The brother, who is to be the future king, says, "I am so honored to have my brother home. I have heard so much of your adventures. I have so many questions to ask of you, my brother." As the brother lets go, stepping back, he says, "Look at you, Siddhartha. Your body feels so hard, so strong. You must be doing lots of training at your monastery. And now you are a holy man known as Master Buddha." As I was sitting in front of my laptop, I was feeling such a closeness to this past I am viewing. Not just my family, but everything, because it all looked so familiar to me in every way. Then I heard his sister as she stepped back saying, "I have missed you, my brother, so much. My inner heart has ached because of the loss in not seeing you in our home for so long. Seeing you now has taken my pain away, my brother. Maybe later we can walk together through the private garden where we played so much." Siddhartha, as Buddha, smiled at his sister, saying, "Yes, I would love that very much." Buddha looked to his father and mother, asking, "Father, mother, may I have your permission to bring up my 6 disciples so you may all meet them? And if you allow to come with us into the palace?" His father looked at his wife first. Then the look I saw on the Queen Maya's face was one of approval. The father replied, "Yes, my son, please tell them to come up here. They are our guests and will stay within the palace." Buddha turned, looking down at them, still sitting within the wagon. He raised his hand, waving to them. They all got out and walked up the stairs. As they reached the top, Buddha spoke to them. "This is King Sahondaya and Queen Maya, my father and mother. Her full name is Mayahamya." All 6 disciples bowed down to them in respect. Buddha spoke, "This is my brother, Prince Nanda, and my sister, Princess Sandara." The 6 disciples bowed again in respect. My God, this is just incredible. As I was viewing this amazing gathering, I just wanted to cry, but sadly I couldn't. The King of India clapped his hands together. I believe it was to gain their attention. He spoke, asking, "Please, all, it is time to go inside, as the evening supper is ready for us to eat." As they all walked towards the large entrance doors, the scenery took on a new viewing for me. It showed them all sitting on large tight pillows with low, long table in front of them. All were consuming an array of delicious vegetarian foods. Wow, the king and queen were full-on vegetarians. There were lots of conversations with also lots of laughter that I could hear. Here I am sitting at my laptop trying to write something down, but was finding it quite difficult because of several conversations being heard at the same time. So I sat listening. Master Buddha was explaining all about his visitations to many different communities. and how all things within those communities were balancing out because of the generosity of the King and Queen of India in sending so many wagons filled with foods as well as equipment to help them in their farming, with also helping mothers in their giving birth to their children. They also supplied more horses to each community. It seemed the list went on. The Queen Maya was very interested in her son's teachings, that he founded the name of Buddhism, and it spread throughout many communities and throughout all of India. His mother asked him, "What does the truth of Buddhism mean, my son?" Buddha looked at his mother smiling, answering, "The essence of the creation informing Buddhism is a pathway to all inner realities that are beyond the normal human understanding of life, my mother. When one studies Buddhism, it becomes their personal liberation from all pain, all misery. That's where you begin the letting go of all suffering. The true meaning of letting go is to free oneself from all negative emotions that we each create throughout one's present lifetime. To let go of the old is to find true happiness within oneself. That's where we each begin to search for the one true meaning of life, and that is finding the love of heart. My master Zhang Qi was the most inspiring teacher. He taught me everything that he knew. That is the one and only reason I could create and manifest Buddhism into physical reality. Everything that I have achieved is only because of Master Zhang Qi. And I know in truth it was his spirit in the unseen world. To me, he is still my teacher and gave me the strength and determination to form Buddhism into human reality. The King of India spoke out. "So, my son, your mother and I did chose the right monastery for your learning, and your mother and I are very, very proud of you, our son." Out of nowhere, the scene changed, showing Master Buddha walking by himself, which seems right throughout the palace. His eyes just seemed to gaze on everything. Then again it became another day with Buddha doing a talk to many people within the palace grounds. The scene changed again. He was within some part of the palace talking to his father. His father was telling him, "As I said, my son, Prince Nanda will become king once I am gone. My health for some reason has got worse. Do not fear. Your brother will continue the supplies to all those communities. He has told me many times about how he loves what you have become and all those that you and your disciples are doing to help the people." Then the scene changed again, like it went forward in time, showing Buddha and his father and mother walking around the massive grounds that nearly encircle the entire palace. Master Buddha just listened to his father talking, then listening to his mother talking. It seemed he didn't talk at all, just listened to the two most beautiful, mother and father, and how fortunate that they are to be his parents. It seemed to me, as I was viewing what occurred back then, that I could see it was an early morning in India, with the 6 disciples loading many things into 3 wagons, while Buddha was talking to his father and mother, as well as his brother and sister. Then Buddha gave his farewell to his father and his mother and his sister and his brother, as did the 6 disciples. Master Buddha got on the front wagon with 2 of his disciples, and the other 4 disciples got into the other 2 wagons. What I saw next was at least 50 or 60 soldiers on horses which were going with Buddha, just in case there were any attacks, which sometimes did occur outside of India. As the 3 wagons began their long journey back to the monastery, the soldiers were in front, and on each side as well as behind. Even though day and night went quite quickly, and at night I heard from a distance talks as well as laughter. Then they arrived up in the mountains near the bridge that led into the monastery. Once they were greeted by the other disciples, the soldiers left and disappeared into the sunset. All the disciples, including Buddha, unpacked the 3 wagons. Then the scene went to them, all sitting around a low table, consuming their evening meal. What I saw next kind of shocked me a little. In seeing the disciples were much older, like lots of time, years had gone by, and I noticed several new younger disciples being there. I then saw Master Buddha come walking down some rocky sort of stairs. He did not look any older from what I could see, and on his return from India, especially with the 3 wagons. As Buddha walked down those rocky stairs, he spoke out, "It is the moment for me to do my talk, please." All the disciples moved from what they were doing and sat in an area that was for their meditations and learning. Again, to my complete surprise, time flew by, like many years had just gone. And what I could see and saw was Buddha, a little older, while many of his disciples who were older were gone, with many new younger ones were there, all sitting and listening to Buddha as he spoke out. I need to say this before I continue. Please remember, if you are driving your car listening to this episode, do not attempt to do the following meditation while driving, as it can end up fatal. Buddha speaks out saying, "Today I wish to take you all through a small meditation, an inner journey of knowing, in how to separate your true self, being your spirit, from your physical body. Please all, close your eyes, take a deep breath, hold just for a moment or two, and release fully that breath. Then take another deep breath and hold to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then release fully and just breathe naturally, following my directions. Do not move your body at all. Use your imagination by seeing your 2 hands going over your heart. Then breathing deeply, hold to my count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now release it completely, all of it. Then breathe naturally. Now through your imagination, feel as if your whole inner body is filling up with pure white light, bringing perfect balance within you. Then allow that light to emanate out through the pores of your skin, encircling your entire outer physical body in pure white light. Now say these words after me, not verbally, but as your mind would express it. I feel within my own inner being perfect balance. I can feel my inner spirit wanting so much to project from my own physical self, and I allow it completely. Very good. You are all doing extremely well, my friends. Now say these words directly from your heart. Come forward, my spirit. Project yourself from my human self. Project now. Project now. Always remember this. When you do this meditation on your own, know it doesn't matter if your spirit is projected or not. Keep using your greatest gift of imagination. So now, know your spirit is projected. Believing is knowing the truth. Now that you are out of your physical self, look around. You may see your physical body sitting there, as well as seeing others, which means you are still within the physical 4th dimensional realm. So now, using your mind, being energy, say, I move my spirit into the 4th dimension of the spirit world. Remember, just be the observer. Most of you will end up in different levels of vibration because you all think differently. Now follow these points of learning to create, to manifest within the spirit realm. Now think of something simple that you would enjoy to have or to do. Once you have it within your imagination, feel within your spirit an energy. Once you can truly feel that energy, then by using your power of imagination, See the energy come forth from your spirit directly in front of yourself and feel the power of your true self bringing it into the existence of reality. As the viewer of this amazing experience I just watched on, the vision went deeper. It showed me different disciples actually trying and forming what they had within their imagination. It seemed like a small amount of time went by as Buddha spoke out. Now is the moment for all of you to return to your physical body. Now, please. What I was seeing, all the disciples were opening their eyes. Buddha spoke out. You all did very well. You're learning. Your abilities are now at the point where you can direct yourselves. The book that I have in my hands, I wrote out what we just said and did, so you can all practice. Remember, practice makes things happen perfectly in order for each of you to teach in the future. As Master Buddha spoke, all the disciples looked at him with some concern. Yet, all was quiet, except with Buddha talking. He moved around back and forth, expressing himself about what will be and what is to come. Then I saw him in an unusual way of stepping up onto low rock wall, where I could see it was a very deep ravine, separate from the main part of the surrounding land. As Buddha was talking, he walked on this low rock wall back and forth, yet he seemed quite stable. In fact, he looked perfectly balanced. I noticed some of the disciples were making hand movements at their Master Buddha, but he just kept walking, talking, then suddenly he stopped. But he was not on the low rock wall anymore. The shocked, concerned look on the disciples' faces was one of horror. Master Buddha saw their looks. He stopped walking, asking, "What is the matter? You all look a little strange." As they were trying to point out, one of the disciples, which became amazing to me, was the younger one called Fong, who was incarnated a few hundred years ago, and he and Buddha were good friends. Buddha took him under his wing, just like Master Zhang Qi did to Buddha, at the tender age of only 4. I did discover who Fong truly is. He is an alien from a planet called Nakaris, and I've already said that. As the disciples looked on, Buddha bent his head down, looking. He was standing only on thin air. He looked up, smiling, with a very strange look at all of them as he spoke. I had a dream last night, and I was walking on air. I could feel that I was as light as the bird's feathers. And then I looked at my arms. They began to change. A deep golden light covered them, and it was also beginning to cover my whole body. In that moment, my body changed its form from being me to golden light, and I drifted up higher and higher until I was nothing. Then I awoke. I let that dream go. Yet here I am, standing only on air, and I am feeling lighter and lighter in every moment. I have spent time working out how old I am, and I believe I am around 600 years old if we look at human time. I discovered a deep secret in how to rejuvenate myself, and I have practiced ever since in the sacred room of knowledge. I have combined a scroll with all my findings on self-rejuvenation to help those who wish to learn the art of self-rejuvenation. As they are staring at Master Buddha, they saw his feet turning to energy. Buddha makes an interesting statement saying, "A new Buddha of this monastery must be placed into that position. I alone appoint Master Fong as the new Buddha. It is time for my essence to leave this existence. Always come from the heart when you make a decision. I thank each and all of you for your love, your honesty, your devotion to me, as well as all who live within this monastery. What I began to witness as the viewer was just incredible. Master Buddha's whole body was just dissipating into nothingness. All that was left was his golden light in the shape as Buddha. The facial expressions on all the disciples' faces were breathtaking, with some crying, some even breathing, and some even sobbing, and completely stunned by seeing their Master Buddha's body just dissipating right in front of them. The clothes he was wearing began to fall ever so slowly. All of the disciples moved to the low wall, and seeing his clothes falling all the way down to the bottom of the ravine. As the disciples looked at the golden light in the shape of their Master Buddha, it began to lose the form shape and also just vanish as if he never existed. Wow! Seeing this past of the Buddha's existence touched my heart so deeply. What came next was quite exciting. I was being shown a disciple named Fong being anointed in becoming the next Master Buddha. The vision I was seeing became broader. I was seeing lots of different disciples, maybe from other monasteries. I also noticed all of the disciples were wearing a different color in their clothing, and I feel it represented the monastery they came from. Seeing Fong being anointed was just amazing. The happiness was very obvious as it all went on, and Fong became the new Master Buddha. All these other disciples came walking out with large trays of food. Then there were beautiful sounds of flute music. As everyone was eating, talking, laughing, it was a sight to see. In that moment, suddenly, everything just vanished as I sat at my computer, thinking to myself, wow, what I just experienced over many hours to capture the long-gone past of Zhenglai Wang and Shang Luxia, who in reality are Kalusha and Kuntarkis, who incarnated way back then to help save millions of humans from the Emperor Quang Chang, being around 58 million, who were planning a world war to annihilate brutally in order to control most of the world. And it was Kalusha, the Karon warrior, who instigated the entire plan at that time, being 13,331 human years ago, to help save humanity from the pain and misery it would have created. As I was about to begin proofreading, out of nowhere, another vision opened up to my eyes. I didn't expect this to come, but it did, because it happened at the end of The Silent Assassin. But there he was, Master Zhang Qi, calling out to the ex-Master Buddha, saying, "Welcome back to the spirit world, Master Buddha. Your journey over the last 600 human years was very interesting. Now, let us have another new adventure. This one is not that far away, but the life of the one to come as Jesus and his mother Mary." What I was seeing was very touching from a very deep feeling from within me, in the knowing Master Zhang Qi, who is Zhenglai Wang from 13,331 human years ago. Yet, in truth, those two incarnations was in fact an alien called Kalusha from the planet Nakaris, who I married in 2018, and in August 2016 she gave birth to our son called JC. Yet his real name is Narkris from the same planet Nakaris, and here I sit knowing I also lived back then as Shang Luxia over 13,000 years ago, then as Buddha, being the son of the King Sahundaya of India, who with Mother Queen Maya placed their son Siddhartha at the tender age of 4 into a monastery under the guidance of Master Zhang Qi. What an incredible event. I am so truly honored to have had those two amazing existences upon this beautiful planet Earth. One thing I must say to the listeners, All truth comes directly from one's heart. The heart is an organ that holds all the experiences of your personal life, and also it stores directly into your cellular memory, which is energy. When you pass over, your human body decays into nothingness. It is your cellular memory that it contains within the living energy of your spirit and will pass on to your new incarnation, whenever that may be. And that is from one lifetime to another, right throughout your entire existence, whether as a human on planet Earth or even an alien from another universe. And remember, there are trillions of universes and billions of planets and millions of complex life forms within all of that, as well as multidimensional universes. And planet Earth has 17 of them to my knowledge, all at different stages of their own evolution. Very quickly before I go on, which is nearly the end, I must also express the other night. I had a very interesting little experience, very short. I remember coming out of my body and traveling at the speed of light. And I was dressed in complete black. I even had like a hood on, which really amazed me. And I have a sword on my back, and it was pure light. I ended up on a multidimensional world. And as I entered there, I could see these 16 assassins that were going to wipe out the entire royal family on that planet and take over and cause all the chaos you could possibly think of. Now, I just went along with it because I'm getting used to it. They're using my experiences being a warrior right from the long gone past, not just being Shang Nushar, but as an Akaron, as Kuntarkis. I have fought and helped saved with my father, with my sister and brothers, billions of lives through so many thousands of incarnations. And that's what we are. We are forever. We are divinity. We are our soul, who puts out the facets of spirits to come and incarnate onto a world to live and experience. And then eventually go back to our soul. And the soul becomes a master. And the soul becomes a magician, where it can manifest anything. And I mean anything. That is our true reality, not what we are living today. What I'm about to say, or more to the point, explain from a reincarnation's point of view. My wife, Misha, also known as Kalusha, is a very open-minded being and deeply spiritual, and has been from a very early age. She sees things that very few humans would ever see or hear. She told me something around 2 to 3 weeks ago about a human man living in this present era of 2025 who has caused more devastation to humanity worldwide. His name is Bill Gates. Something came forth from her inner knowing that she feels that Bill Gates is, in truth, the reincarnation way back then of the Emperor Quang Chang from 13,331 human years ago. I listened to what my amazing lady just told me. Instantly, I felt a swirling energy within me. So I asked my newfound friend called Adra, who lives and exists within a 7-dimensional realm that has been helping humanity in so many different ways. 2 days later, it was confirmed as a yes. It is Bill Gates in this present year of humanity. What we truly need to fully understand is the reality of reincarnation and especially karma, which can be positive as well as negative. All of us live to what is referred to as the wheel of life. And I'll say this now, and I have said it. There are millions of wheels of life. Why? Because there is over 8.2 billion humans on this planet Earth. And that's all I'm going to say. So, Mr. Michael Yon, back to you. Do you have anything you wish to ask or say?
I want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing that. This is so special to hear the story of Buddha, and it's just amazing to hear. Yeah, so special.
Misha Shatani Shaku Lamo Sali Anati Doko Shaka Malo. What I just said was basically Kalusha is one of the most highest forms of being a teacher, a mentor. What she teaches back on Nakaras and what she has taught on earth, especially to me, has opened me up to many new realities of the existence of all forms of life. And everything, I mean everything, comes from the heart of love. That's where everything begins.
And you wrote this to honor her, these two lives, and the next one.
Yes, to honor her existence as Kalusha. And she has had thousands of Nakaron lives. And she has done so many lives in researching, in being what we call here a scientist. But also, she created from the alien race called the Ilias on the planet Taurus. She was given a book on numerology, which was their book. When she was given that book, she spent many years on their planet learning all about how that book came into manifestation. The book she took back was the same, and she was given permission to change it to suit the Nakaron civilization. And it took her, of her life, 30 physical years to recreate the book through research, through inner knowing, and inner mind traveling to understand the entire essence of 27 million years of the Nakaron population in their own evolution. And I explained what's more interesting is that book was brought to Earth. And that book at this exact moment is here. And where it is? In the Sahara Desert, under hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tons of sand. And it's a pyramid. And it's sitting on an altar with a crystal. And it's the crystal of life that comes from Nakaris. And that's where that book of numerology exists. And that is the real form of numerology. She wrote it to suit the earth. And one day in human history, that will be uncovered. And who uncovers it? I have no idea at this time. And when it's brought into human existence, it will change the reality, the spiritual essence of every human being that learns to understand it and live a life of heart.
It was written specifically for Earth, this particular one?
Yes, she recreated it to bring to Earth. She went back after being Zhang Lai Wang with me. We spent time on the planet Nakaris, where we exist, and she had this thought that she was coming back, and it was to do with the life of Buddha. And she rewrote, through research, the book that she originally got from the Ilias into Nakaron language and then into human language, so we would understand it and bring it into our existence and make it basically our Bible, if we want to look at it that way, that has nothing but total truth, no emotion, no negativity, only pure positive reality.
So she rewrote it in the monastery as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And is there a follow-on to this, a next incarnation?
Well, there is. it's a little bit of a touchy subject. I did mention it. Probably not a good idea to mention it again, I think,
Right.
at this time. But I just want to say this before we finish up. What I wrote probably about, say, 2.5 pages back, I added that in this morning. And the reason I added that in about reincarnation is what we each have to understand as a human. But we also have to understand that we are a facet, a spirit of our own actual soul. And we're here to experience different incarnations. And sometimes, as I said, we can be born as a king, a queen. We can be born as a murderer, even a rapist, a violent person. Then we can be born as a loving person, a family person, many times over. To learn what love is, we have to learn the negatives first to try and change it back into being positive, just like Zhang Lai Wang did when he learned martial arts, but also the dark forces of magic. He took it on and he suffered badly for years and years, but he turned it because he believed in the heart. The heart energy helped him turn it over into something positive. And what he did then was create all the negative magic into positive magic. And that's why he was so good. That's being Kalusha. Reincarnation has one purpose. So we learn and move on because we found the balance of life. And after that, Michael, we never have to incarnate again. And we can create whatever we want as the soul and become physical and even move around the entire trillions of universes and help other civilizations. And that's what Father does, Yakas Kardas. That's what Taikani does. They help others evolve from the negativity so it doesn't embed them down like it has humanity. But as I stated, we are hijacked 100% by an alien race that are reptilians that have been hijacked by a master race which are negative and not spiritual, come from another universe, billions of light years from planet Earth. And they're traveling here right now. And they're supposed to get here between 2027 to 2030. And they want to take over completely planet Earth. And we become their slaves because they're keeping us down consciously. That's why the book on numerology was brought here, written, and placed within whoever placed it. I'm not sure who placed it, but placed within a pyramid that has been covered with hundreds of tons of sand. And one day, nature will help reveal it.
Yeah, and that'll be such an answer. I wonder, did Kalusha integrate all of this numerology into facets of the Nakaran technology?
Yes.
Yeah. That must include, does that include, you know how they have that technology where they can literally show a warring race, look, this is what's going to happen if you continue. This is literally the future. That's a part of it?
Absolutely. You see, on Nakaris, if I went back to Nakaris now, just say I went back, and I just said to myself, because of my awareness from being in Nakaron so many thousands of times through reincarnation, if I said, I am now in Nakaron, transform my body the way it should be, my body would instantly transfer to being 7'4" tall and built like a brick toilet, right? And I could move and do things that I would never be able to do as a human physical person. And I would be able to do everything. And I would be able to manifest. Because Father, 3.83 million years ago, gave us the four a gift each. What he gave me was the heart of magic. And I used that for the good of all things. Every single lifetime, after I spent many thousands of lifetime developing it. Because my goal was to become like Father. And I said this before, when he left Zybek and the people there known as Zybekyapa, he was there on that planet, Zybek, for 2 billion years and had thousands upon thousands of lifetimes. But he always believed in something that he didn't know what it was, and it was living energy. And once he discovered that, he worked on it. He went into his own, his own existence without anyone to work on it. And when he passed over, just before everyone destroyed each other on that planet, Zybek, he went into spirit world of their realm, and he spent not quite 1 million years of human time developing his awareness, but also his ability of magic, because he believed in it so much. Magic comes from the mind of one's soul through living energy. When you step up consciously in a positive way, you also open your heart to unconditional love. And then you step up higher. When you learn to understand that everything in this entire, universes is created and manifested through consciousness, from evolution, from living energy. Once we learn to understand that and grasp it, it may take us 1,000 lifetimes. But if we, engage our genetics, each lifetime we start to grow more and more consciously. And we start to really have the visions through our imagination and connect to our mind and accept more knowledge from our soul. Once we do that, we can formulate anything we choose from living energy.
Oh, very good, Kuntarkis. It's an honor to do this recording with you. This is really, really special. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate your kind words. Very much so.
This concludes another episode of Kuntarkis. If you'd like to find out more about Kuntarkis, find his website, which is etcconsciousness.com. He has articles there, he has his books listed there, and also if you have any reason to contact us in general for any reason, just email kuntarkis@gmail.com. That's it for now. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Michael Yon, and stay tuned for more.